I grow 18 different fruit trees in my quarter-acre backyard property, and it works because of pruning. This is Peachy the peach tree. She has been with me, I believe, 7 years now. And when I first got her, I did absolutely nothing to her. I never pruned her for probably, I think, the first 3 years of her life. And it really slowed her down significantly. She didn't end up fruiting until 5 years. So that kind of goes to show you pruning can be highly beneficial because peach trees should really fruit within 3 years. I know it feels a little odd trying to prune a super tiny fruit tree. Like the one behind Peachy, you can see him right there, that's a plum tree, and I've been pruning that thing for 2 years now, and it has already given me fruit. So it just kind of goes to show you they don't have to be super big to prune, and in fact, the smaller they are, the better that they are. What I'm showing right here is the different kinds of cuts that I'm making. This first one are shaping cuts. They are to make sure that the tree is shaped properly. When it comes to peaches and plums, they like the vase shape, and when it comes to apples and pears, they like the main leader shape. And so that's all I'm doing in the beginning, is just a couple strategic cuts to make sure that their branches are kind of pointed in the right direction, whether or not they have that center leader, whether they have that open vase in the center. All of that is the shaping cuts. And then I'm going to move on to something called thinning cuts. Thinning cuts are cuts where you're just basically trying to get rid of any branches that are crossing other branches. Maybe they're going in the wrong direction. They don't have a good 45-degree angle outwards from the tree. There's a whole process of how to cut fruit trees, so I'll put that video at the end of this one. But today I mainly want to talk about why it's important to prune the fruit trees. Because when you prune, you are letting that tree know that it needs to focus on fruit. A lot of the times we think that a fruit tree's main purpose is to produce fruit, but that's not actually its main purpose. Its main purpose is to grow big and strong so that it can maintain its lifespan. So it wants to grow as many branches as possible. It wants to get as many, leaves as possible. It wants to grow very, very large. It wants to create a large root base. And then, the offspring of that is going to be its fruit. It's now trying to reproduce itself to produce more of its own, but it still wants to maintain itself. So it's always going to put effort towards itself before it thinks about producing fruit. That's kind of the opposite of what we want it to do, because we want it to produce food for us. So the tree doesn't need to be super large in order for it to produce fruit and to produce a lot of it. So that is one reason why we prune them. If you allow them to get really big and kind of mangly and just gargantuan, it's not going to focus on producing fruit. It's going to produce very small fruit. It's going to drop a lot of fruit. There's just a lot of negative aspects that we don't think about when we think about just letting our fruit trees do their own thing. It's actually one of the negative aspects of Peachy the peach tree here, because I did not prune her for those first 3 years. She's one of my biggest trees. It has been my focus to keep my trees at about the 5 to 7 foot height. I don't want them any larger than that because I have a smaller lot where I live, and I don't want my trees to be so high that I need to get a ladder out to get fruit from them. I'm not trying to feed an entire neighborhood. I'm just feeding my husband and I, so it's not like we need a tree that's producing hundreds upon hundreds of, buckets of peaches. If that's something you're interested in, and you maybe have a larger family and you want to, feed the neighborhood, you can allow your trees to get larger than what I'm doing here. I'm keeping them short for an actual purpose of being able to harvest it easily, and for only feeding a small amount of people. I don't want it to go to waste. But if you had a larger family and you wanted to feed more people with your trees, you can allow them to get much taller than what I allow mine, and they will produce more, but you still have to prune. So what happened to Peachy was, not only did she get, way too tall, which has made it a little bit difficult in maintaining her size and keeping her short, it also kept her from fruiting sooner. Like I mentioned earlier, she didn't fruit within the 3 years that is expected. She fruited much later than that, and the first 2 years of fruiting produced a very small amount of fruit. The first year I think I got somewhere in the ballpark of a dozen, and then the second year I got somewhere in the ballpark of 2 dozen. It was a very sad number of years of having Peachy without any fruit. Now the cool part is once I actually started to prune her, and honestly I pruned her so incredibly heavy that first time that she produced a crazy amount of peaches after that first prune. And I was really heavy pruning. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't really sure of what all the different cuts were. I didn't know if I was hurting her in any way, but I knew that she had just gotten too crazy, too wild. And she wasn't really producing any fruit at worth substance at that time, so I thought, what can I lose? I should just really heavily prune her, and I did. I mean, I did shaping cuts with saws, cutting 2 or 3 very large limbs off of her. I did so many thinning cuts. She was basically completely bare on the bottom. I did heading cuts where I brought her down by like a third, so like she was so compact, and I'm pretty sure I was so sure that I had damaged her, because I'm like, that was a lot of cutting. That was more than a third of the amount of tree, which is what the recommendation is not to take off more than a third. I probably took off, I don't know, close to half. It was a tough cut for her, and I'm not sure I would do that again, because that was a little aggressive, but it worked, because she produced a crazy amount of peaches for me that next year. And I think it's because she no longer had to worry about growing out her root system, or growing out these huge branches, or filling out all these branches with all these leaves. She could just focus on reproducing, which is what I wanted. I think one of the reasons why I didn't prune her early was because I was just nervous that I was going to hurt her. I even educated myself. I read books. I watched a bunch of videos. I watched other people prune. I looked at people's trees that were pruned and kind of like tried to figure out what the shape was. I just was so worried that I was going to make these cuts and that I was going to damage her forever. Now the cool thing is, this is what I have learned. You can make every single bad cut that year, and then when summer comes and it all grows out, you can look at it and be like, oh, I probably shouldn't have cut that, because it's doing this instead of what I thought it was going to do. It's growing inwards to the tree rather than outwards, what I thought it was going to do. And then you kind of look at a little bit closer at the branch and you're like, oh, I see why it did that. It had this little bud that was above that bud, and it shot out that way. It's one of those things that experience is one of the only things that really helps. Teaching only goes so far. And I am definitely somebody who absolutely loves research and learning from others. So don't get me wrong, there is benefits of watching other people prune, or watching other pruning techniques, or reading books about pruning. One of my favorite one is Grow a Little Fruit Tree. Talks about how to keep fruit trees very, very small for the backyard garden setting. Great book, but they only go so far. Experience is what really taught me how to prune my trees so that I could get them to the proper shape. The cool thing is that these trees are living things. So if you prune it, it's like giving it a really bad haircut. It'll grow out. They're very forgiving that way. And now that I have been pruning peachy for I don't know how many years now, several years now, I make less cuts now than I used to make, which is interesting because I was very aggressive then, and I'm still aggressive now with my pruning techniques, but I don't have to make as many cuts because now I know exactly how I want it to be shaped, and I know how she is going to grow because I have watched her year over year, summer over summer, every winter prune, every summer prune. I do it twice a year. I have seen how she takes that prune and how she grows from it, and now I only have to make cuts in certain areas. It's really hard to explain except to say that, like, if you know that you don't like layers, you don't have to do as many cuts of your hair anymore to do a layered cut. You just have to do this straight cut to get the desired look that you want. It's kind of the same thing with the fruit trees. I thin her out in the bottom. I make sure that there's no water sprouts going on, and then I start taking off height. That's probably where I take the most off. I'm taking off height to make sure that the bud that I'm cutting at, or what I'm showing right here, grows in the direction that it should grow, outwards away from the tree. Every time you make a cut, it's going to produce like 2 or 3 more branches that come right around that area. And where they shoot out is dependent on where those buds are going. And so I want the tree to look a certain way. I want her to have like this vase shape at the bottom without a lot of little branches around at the bottom. And I want the top to like flare out and open. And it's easier to pick the fruit there. I don't have to like crawl up into the side of the tree to get fruit out. I've done that because of the way that I had cut it before. You know, I kept some branches in the center thinking, oh, it'll give me more fruit. They don't, and they take forever to ripen, and then the squirrels get them, and there's just a whole thing, right? But I didn't learn that until I learned to cut it a little bit or a lot and then see how it grows, and then cut it again, and then see how it grows, and cut it again and see how it grows. And over that process, me and Peachy have really gotten to know each other in terms of the best way for her to grow, to produce the peaches, the best peaches that she possibly can, in the places that I want them to be, so that I'm not climbing up a tree trying to pull peaches out of a tree, or getting really small peaches. So if you have fruit trees and you're thinking, okay, I need to prune, I'm still nervous, I'm still scared, I want you to just make 3 or 4 cuts, whether it's for height to make it shorter, whether it is thinning cuts to make sure that the center stays open for these types of trees, these peaches and plum trees. If it is to make sure that 2 branches are not touching or crossing over, if it's to get rid of, broken branches, like make 3 or 4 cuts. That's all you got to do that first year, especially if they're young. Make 3 or 4 cuts. And then look at where you made those cuts. And when summer comes, I want you to go back out there and look at the tree and where it's putting its leaves, where it is creating new branches from. And you're going to get a really clear idea of why it started producing those branches in certain place, why one side of the tree looks more full than the other, whether it, even if you didn't get fruit, where did the flowers show up? So that's an important detail. Did you get more flowers on a set of branches that had more, they call them scaffold branches. It's like that 3 or 4 big branches coming from the bottom that you see in the picture right here. Those 3 or 4 scaffold branches, how many additional branches did they create, and how did they splay out, whether the sun is hitting them in those areas or not? All of that is going to tell you whether it gives you more flowers or less flowers, because that's an indication of where your fruit will be. Even if you don't get your fruit that first year because it's a young tree, where you get flowers and buds is an important factor, because that's where it's going to be heaviest in the future. So just looking at those things while it's young, while you're making those cuts, you're going to gain that experience before it's at a point where you could possibly do it damage like I did to Peachy. Now, if it's your first year pruning and you have an established tree, maybe you bought a new property and it already has a little orchard, maybe you planted a tree and you haven't pruned it for years and now it's quite large, and you want to spur some good fruit production, pruning aggressively is going to be your friend. But just be aware that your tree does not know what this is about, and it's going to get a little bit confused and probably act a little weird, especially with that first prune. I'm not saying go easy. Don't get me wrong. I am saying, though, don't do like I did, and that is don't take more than a third of the tree. And the easiest way to not take more than a third of the tree as you're going around is pick what you want to do in that first year. Do you want to shape it? Maybe it's in a bad shape and you've got to take off some big heavy branches. Well, just take off the big heavy branches. If that's not a concern, maybe it was shaped properly when it came from the nursery and it went in the ground and it just naturally took the proper shape. Maybe you want to do more thinning cuts to get rid of all that excess. So you're going to do a ton of thinning cuts. Or maybe the height is like super problem for you and you want to bring it down. And so what you'll forego is the shaping and the thinning cuts so that you can bring the height down. I'd say pick one of those 3 goals, whether shaping, thinning, or height, and bring it down a third that way. It's easier to look at the tree and go, okay, if I take out these 3 huge branches, that's a third of the tree. Or if I'm going to thin down everything from, you know, chest high down, that's a third of the tree and all the top of the tree is going to be there. Or I'm going to take a third right off the top. It's easier to kind of weigh what a third is when you have one particular goal. The cool thing about it is when you have a really big established tree that you're trying to bring down and really prune heavy, you can prune heavy twice a year. So you're going to take that, let's say you take a height approach on the first one. So it's winter right now, you take the height approach and you bring it down by a third. Well, in summer, you can go ahead and do your shaping cuts. It's less number of cuts, which is good. So that way, you know, you're not introducing a lot of disease during the summer, because that can tend to be a problem. Or you can take your thinning cuts and get rid of all the small branches that have no fruit or flowers on them. The approach that I take now that Peachy has been pruned for quite some time is I kind of do any shaping cuts that I need, which is not usually a lot at this point. You usually do your shaping cuts the first few years of pruning, and then you really don't have to go back to it except to like clean up little things like water sprouts that might be coming up in the center. So I only did one shaping cut here on the tree this year. I did a good amount of thinning cuts just to make sure no branches are crossing, and I did a lot of height cut. That's my winter goal usually, is just to get some thinning done, get the height back down. In summer, my only goal 100% for the last 2 summers in a row has been to bring down her height. Because I allowed her to get pretty tall and lanky those first few years, keeping her height down is my biggest challenge. Now, if you can keep the height down low in those first few years, you're not going to experience this problem like I'm having, where she's just trying to really burst forth every single summer. You'll probably only have to do the cuts once a year, but because I did allow her to get super big, she really wants to get tall. And it's hard to hold her back at this point, so I have to do 2 cuts on height a year. And those first few years of pruning, of shaping and thinning and height, you're going to probably have to do 2 cuts a year, but you can probably get down to just doing winter cuts. And that's actually kind of what you want to aim for. There's nothing wrong with pruning during the summer. It's just during the summer here in Florida, we get a lot of rain. There's a lot of humidity. There's a lot of pest pressure, and all of that brings in some disease. And then you have open wounds on your tree from your pruning, which can also give you the potential to have disease as well. I have not experienced it myself. My trees have remained pretty healthy even with the pruning during the summer, but I am finding myself less and less wanting to prune during the summer. 1, it's hot. I don't want to be out there. It's miserable. But 2, I know it's beneficial for her not to have open wounds during that time of the year. If you start pruning when they're young and you stay keeping them pruned, you probably will get to a point around year 3 of pruning that you do not have to prune during the summer anymore, and you can do all of your thinning, shaping, and heading cuts all during winter. And that's what we should be aiming for. I do very few cuts during the summer now, and it's getting, maybe this summer will be my first summer that I don't have to do any cuts. We'll see. That is my end goal though. We got Peachy done, but we still have a whole bunch of fruit trees that we need to get pruned. I'm going to work on that throughout today and tomorrow and try to get everything all fixed before they start to bloom, which should be any day now. If you haven't heard yet, I am working on a fruit book, and I am this close to being finished with it, and it's all about how to grow fruits here in Florida. It has a chapter for all of the different fruits and how to grow them, as well as other chapters on, say, if you want to grow the fastest growing trees, or you want to grow the most yield, or you want to grow a family garden for kids. It has everything you ever wanted to know about how to plant trees in Florida, how to care for them, everything in between. So you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, because I'm going to announce it here first when the book is available for purchase. Make sure to get out there and get your fruit trees pruned. You will thank me later. Happy gardening, friend.